Kia ora and welcome to the briefing for your collaborative assignment. I hope you've all had a good weekend and looking forward to our final week of discussions before the teaching recess. And this is a time when we're putting our digital literacy into action and our understanding of digital fluency into action. Over the past few weeks now, we've been talking about what it means to be digitally fluent. We've been looking at being digitally proficient and started to think about actually what digital literacy means. And as I say, this is our time when now we can put some of those concepts into action and actually engage in the process ourselves. So this first assignment, and I say I'm using a QuickTime Player this morning to share this information with you because it's a really good tool to be able to capture my screen, because I'm wanting you to see what I've got on my screen and for me to be able to flick between tabs on my screen as well so that you can see what I'm talking about as I talk through the assignment briefing. When it's finished, I then upload it to YouTube and I sort of put in an unlisted section so it's not easy to find, and but makes it accessible for you and an accessible way for you to actually access the information. So that's a little bit about my digital literacy or digital fluency this morning, although I do have to admit I was sitting here doing another recording earlier on, which was I was chatting away and recording myself, and I was thinking, that's funny, nothing's working. The screen's just blank this morning. What's going on here? And then I suddenly thought, I bought a little screen cover for my camera. You know, one of those little security lids that you can put over your camera at the weekend, and very carefully closed it up, being mindful of personal security there, and forgot to open it this morning, which means that the camera was just recording the inside of the lid. So that's my top tip of the day. Always check that if you're recording and wanting to use your camera that you haven't got your security thing shut. So getting on to the assignment. Now, as you should be seeing now, I'm looking at the assignment 2, Digital Literacy in Action, and it's a collaborative assignment. It's due in now on the 29th of April, so a little extension there to reflect the extension for the first assignment, which gives you time over this week when we're not having our usual discussions, but a chance to actually talk within our groups. And also the teaching recess to complete this assignment. My top tip for this assignment is to follow the framework, okay? Everything that you need to do is detailed in the framework, in the paper outline, and you need to connect the paper outline, the sections in the paper outline, to the information literacy resource as you go, and I'll show you what I mean there. So first of all, you've got your little scenario. Your employer's been hearing the term digital fluency a lot in the media and wants to learn more about what the term means and if it needs to start an initiative to develop the digital fluency of its employees. So you've been set up into task forces. Most of you are in a group of 3, which was great to see. Thank you for going in last week to find your group and your particular topic. Some topics had a lot of people in, so I've put people into groups within that as well, and you're now all got a discussion space to talk with each other. Now, some groups will be 3, some groups will be, I think there's 1 of 2 and 1 of 4, okay? But I'll talk a little bit about the expectations through the assignment a little bit later on if you're not in a group of 3. So you've chosen your particular topic. And I appreciate vlogging and blogging are social media platforms, but people tend to focus want to write about those, so that's why I put them into a separate topic here. And if you have chosen the social media platform, within your groups you need to decide which platform that you're going to talk about. Okay, so you've chosen one of these groups here: cybercrime, cyberbullying, online collaboration, one social media platform. So you'll be talking about Facebook or Twitter or Instagram or whichever platform you'd like to talk about, blogging, vlogging or copyright. Okay, and your task is to think about your topic and use the information literacy resource to find out more information. And you need to actually work together to do this on a Google Doc. And Google Doc is a wonderful collaborative tool used in many ways, both professionally and personally. Some of you may have already used it, and for some of you it'll be a completely new technology, but this is a really good opportunity to become familiar with it. There's some information in the information literacy resource assignment space talking about what Google Docs are and how to use them. But if you have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to contact me. As I say, I use it if I'm writing with people. I use it and we both write on the document together, so sending Word documents around so you see exactly what people are doing. You can be working on it at the same time and talking away with each other. So it's a really good tool to have some time to experiment with. So that's where you'll be doing your collaboration with. How you talk with each other is up to you. You might use the discussion spaces set up in Moodle, you might FaceTime, you might use the communication tools in Google Docs, you might want to use Appear-In. There's a whole range of ways that you can communicate with each other while you're actually putting the document together in Google Doc. And so that's completely up to you, and you choose what works for you and your group. So once you've chosen your task and you're in your group, this is what you need to do. Now, as I say, follow the framework. So the first heading here is plan, and I'm really happy for you to put subheadings in this. It's not an essay, it's, it literally is a process of finding out information about your particular topic and then working out what to do with that information. So becoming digitally literate. So first of all, you're going to plan. So I'd be putting a heading there and saying plan, state your chosen topic. It's as easy as saying, well, actually, we've chosen blogging. Then it gets a bit more complicated because you have to think about the questions that you have relating to the topic. So you need to narrow down the field. So here you come to your information literacy resource, and I've got it on the home page there, which tells you a little bit about what the resource is. And then I come into the plan. So the heading in your paper outline corresponds to the section in the information literacy resource. So it's going, analyse the question analysis. What is it that you're wanting to find out? Well, the focus of the assignment is your particular topic, which could be blogging, it could be cybercrime, and then thinking about how it relates to digital fluency. So, I'd expect your question to have those sorts of thoughts in it. What you want to find out about it, though, is up to you. So the key to searching is to actually hone your question. Okay, what is the question being asked? What is it you're wanting to find out? And if you look through the information literacy resource, it tells you how to do that. It's and there's this really key point here. Time spent now reflecting on the question. What it really means saves you time further down the track, and it does. If you really think about the question, or in your case, develop the question, it really focuses the information that you're wanting to find out. So you're not spending time finding out about something which is irrelevant to your particular topic at that time. Might be really interesting, but might not be, won't be useful for you in that particular assignment. So for you here, you're going to state your chosen topic. What questions do you have relating to the topic? And you write down one question. Okay, what's your key question that you're wanting to find out? And then come up with two things that you want to know additional to the basic research framework that you've got here. So what are two other things that you might be interested in relating to that key question? Then you're going to find out the information. So again, looking at the framework here, I'd have a subheading in my assignment saying find, and then based on what you need to find out, so based on your question, and each of you will have different questions, each group will have different questions, you're going to record at least 3 keywords that you'll use to guide your searches. And you're thinking, okay, what's a keyword? So you come back here at your information literacy resource and you click find. Okay. And in here, it tells you all about keywords, okay? So from your question, you pick out your keywords and you think about what might be some synonyms, I can't say that word this morning, synonyms related to your keywords as well. So again, you're honing in your search, and you're going to be using words which are will find information directly related to your question. So again, have a read through. The resource tells you everything you need to know about keywords and resources. Okay, so using your keywords and synonyms, saying that word slowly now, locate and list using APA style. So all you'll be doing for this section is listing references using APA style. If you're unsure about APA style, please go to the library sources where they've got those wonderful exemplars there. So for this, you're going to do a book from the library search, okay, that you consider relevant to your research using your keywords and synonyms, a person who you will talk to or email who might be able to help you with your research, a website relevant to the topic accessed via the internet, you may consider relevant to your research, and a source from the databases. So again, all of that information around where you're searching for your information sits here in the information literacy resource. So I'm going to do my library search, my databases, and the internet. So it tells you exactly the spaces that you're going to be searching through and explaining how you do that within there. Okay, so then coming back to our paper outline, You're going to evaluate the sources that you found. Now, this is really key, that when you're finding your sources, you're looking for things which take a different angle on the issue. So you're looking for different perspectives about the particular topic that you've chosen. Now, this is the key part. If you're in a group of 4, you're going to actually need 4 sources to actually evaluate using the CRAP tests located in the ILR. So if you're in a group of 3, you're fine. You've got 3 searches there, or 3 sources to be able to evaluate. But if you're in a group of 4, you'll need an additional one there. And similarly, if you're in a group of 2, you'll just need 2 sources, or choose 2 sources from this list of your 4 to actually evaluate, because it's really key that each of you has the opportunity to look at a source and evaluate it. And when you come into here and you go, evaluate, here it discusses the CRAP test and talks about what it is and why it's important. So it's currency, relevance, authority, accuracy and purpose. Okay, and for your particular chosen source, you come down and you analyse it, you evaluate it. So first of all, and again, just follow through this framework here. When was the information published or last updated? Have new articles been published on the topic? Is the topic in the area that changes rapidly, like technology? So just think about it. So you're evaluating your source, you're critically analysing the information that you found. So if it was published last week, I'd be thinking, well, that's pretty up to date. I'd also be looking at if it has the other readings in there, other sources in there, and whether they connect to the topic as well. Then I just work down, does the information answer the research question? And just say, you don't have to be writing heaps here, you're just answering these particular framework elements, okay? What are the author's credentials? Where do they work? Are they working in a university? Are they working, there's a lovely little example here, are they working for a company which is saying how wonderful bread is, and obviously it's in their interest to say how good bread is because they're wanting to sell bread. So you've got to sort of start to analyse, who's saying what and why. Are there biases within there? Is the information accurate? And again, follow through this particular framework, the purpose. So, and as you, in this instance, we're doing it for our own searching here for this assignment, but this is something that you would apply across all, everything that you read across your degree as you're working, in studying, and also when you're working as well. These are skills that you will develop and take with you and use both here at university and in your profession too. So good skills to be able to learn. Don't be put off by the length of it. You'd start to do it automatically once you've used it a few times. You start to evaluate sources without having to sort of go through this whole procedure. But it gets your mind thinking about actually what is, how relevant, how robust is the information that I'm looking at. And then you come down here, so you've each written a CRAP test or evaluated a source, and then you come down to your initial findings and you write a brief response. Okay, I haven't put word limits in here, but you just need to be very succinct and tell me about your findings. Why is your chosen topic a significant issue? Why is it important? Why do I want to read about it? And more importantly, why have you wanted to research about it? What are some different viewpoints about this issue? And an example of this might be, thinking about cyberbullying, perhaps. You might talk about cyberbullying from the perspective of the person being bullied and also the perspective of the person who does the bullying. You might think about some of the ways in which to address cyberbullying, and some could be thinking about having systems in place in schools which are filter and sort of police, or you might talk about, another approach can be to inform people and inform them and work with them on what they can do to prevent or to be able to act when they are being bullied, or what are some of the things we might be able to do there. So again, there's 2 different ways of actually thinking about the actual topic itself. So that's always a good thing to do, is to have a balance of information. If you're all just choosing things from one particular perspective, there's no argument. You can't evaluate it. And then you think about, how does this topic relate to digital fluency? So again, thinking back to that initial question, why is it important to digital fluency? What's the connection there? So again, just write that little bit there. And then when I come to mark it, this is what I'll be looking at, that the requirements of each prompt in the required framework are completed and full and relevant to the topic. So I'll be looking to see that all the elements of the framework in the paper outline are met, including the completing the framework for the CRAP test. Okay, so it's not a huge amount of writing, it should be fairly succinct, but you just need to make sure that you meet each element, because if it's not there, then I can't allocate a mark towards it. That your initial research findings demonstrate an in-depth understanding of the topic and includes consideration of the relevant issues, different viewpoints, and a clear connection to how that's a typo there. Sorry, the topic relates to the digital fluency. And again, if you follow through that initial findings, you meet that criteria there, because you're talking about why your topic's significant, you're putting in different viewpoints, and you're linking back to why it relates to digital fluency. Clear evidence of group participation, and again, that I can see in Google Docs how people are participating, and there's a little thing in there, and I've never had to apply this, that where one member has been identified as not participating, their grade may be affected. Now, thinking about group assignments, please be mindful that people have different working styles, different ways, different time allowances. So some of you might be wanting to get in there and get it done straight away. That might not be possible for other people, because they could have other commitments and they need to actually complete those before coming on to this assignment. So work together as a team. I can remember, I've been an online student many times, and I can remember being in a group of 3 people, and I'm a sort of an early bird type of person, so I like to do my work early in the morning, and one of the people was a night owl, so we worked really well together, because I'd be in there in the morning writing away and the other person would come in the evening. And then we both started to get a bit like annoyed with this third person who didn't seem to be coming in and wasn't really making any contribution. We were doing all the work and we were standing on our high horses there. And actually part of that assignment was to reflect on how we worked as a group. And I thought, when I reflected back, I thought, well, actually, we didn't give that person any space to have a voice, because we got in there pretty quickly. We sort of found the times that worked for us, and this person kept trying to come in. When I look back, I could see that she kept trying to come in, but that we hadn't given her that space or opportunity to do so. So one thing with working with groups is give people the benefit of the doubt. Sometimes they won't be coming into a Google Doc because they can't actually access it, rather than not wanting to. So think about potential reasons why somebody might not be there. Sometimes people are ill, and as I say, the due date is the 29th of April, and you need to think about a way of working towards that due date which is going to suit everyone, and give people space to have a place and a voice. Okay, I say that was a very sobering assignment for me, because I realised that I didn't give that person space to come in. So just think about those things when you work together in a group. And you're great in your groups, actually, because your discussions are really flowing and you give people space and you extend on ideas, and you've had some really good experience now of working together online. So I'm fully expecting to have some wonderful group, and certainly not needing to look at grades at all. And as always, if there are any problems, get in contact. Communication is key. Get in contact with the people in your group, get in contact with me, earlier as possible, and we can sort things out. Okay, and then as always, the presenting your information in a competent writing style. As I say, this isn't an essay. I'm really happy for you to have subheadings in there. Just go through and just make sure that every element of that framework is addressed. You don't need to be writing huge amounts. You just need to make sure that you meet the points. And the key thing here is that this assignment is actually your research for your final assignment, which I'm not going to talk about now because I'm aware I've been chatting away for a wee while now. But the work that you do here supports is your research for your assignment 3. So you're doing an awful lot of work here ready for your completion of assignment 3. So I will now stop talking, upload this clip for you to have a look at. Although the teaching recess is here and we haven't got our usual discussions, I'm here. I check the Moodle space every day, so any questions at all, please don't hesitate to get in contact. Ka kite anō.